Thank you. My name is Giogi Kandelaki. I'm an MP with the UNM here in Georgia. Prime Minister, you presented a very optimistic picture. Yet the amount of investment in energy in 2014 fell by 22% as opposed to the previous year. And in 2015, the fall continued with 53%. How would you explain that? Also, could you update the audience where you stand with Gazprom and your efforts to bring that company to Georgia? Shale gas, nuclear, or other energy sources face a lot of efforts by the Russian Federation in different parts of Europe of discreditation. And one way in which Russian Federation tries to discredit these sources is obviously through their propaganda channels in Germany or wherever. Well, there has been credible research in Georgia that some of these Russian propaganda channels, outlets, are funded by the government. You said in your nomination speech in Parliament in December that if confirmed, this funding would stop. The Council of Europe, its Commission Against Racism and Intolerance, which monitors hate speech, has now confirmed that indeed the Georgian government is funding such outlets. Now that it is confirmed, is this funding of Russian propaganda channels going to stop? Yes or no? Thank you.
I knew there would be tougher questions from the audience.
Not at all. Thank you very much. First of all, energy investments take an important period of structuring the projects. And of course, structuring projects like Neskra, for example, which is a $1 billion investment, took almost 1.5 years. And this is a natural period of launching and negotiations and originating the deal. I will not go into all the details of all this period. And now the project is already being implemented. And also the Tata Consortium, which took important time. And by the way, in 2012, this project was abandoned by Tata Consortium, and it took a lot of effort to bring the investor back. And all the IFIs, of course, and they have internal procedures to invest in the project, to prepare the investment. And of course, this is due diligence and all the necessary steps that are to be taken in order to come to a point to start the real investment. And of course, the reason also for decreasing FDI, physical FDI, was falling of oil prices and generally energy prices due to the regional conflicts between Ukraine and Russia. Now we have tensions between Turkey and Russia, which of course affects the general outlook in the region, and we are not isolated from this outlook. But I should say that these important projects that are being listed now and that I already listed are underway. There is no suspension or halt to the BP investment in South Caucasus pipeline. They are continuing at full swing, so there is no reason for any skepticism. On Gazprom, we had technical negotiations to fill the gap of our energy demand, which was increased by almost 14% in last year. And we had discussions with Gazprom, and we finished these discussions with additional agreement with SOCAR on additional energy supply through BP pipeline, which was important deal and also providing more favorable terms for Georgia's energy supply. Russia accounts for less than 10% of Georgia's energy supply, and we can say that we are not heavily dependent on Russia's supply as it was in the past. So unfortunately, I need to use this word that all these row out of nothing was a pure political speculation that Georgia turns to Gazprom back, and this is not the case, and we are staying in very important strategic partnership with Azerbaijan on Georgia's energy supply. On Russian propaganda, yes, of course, this is important challenge, especially in the regions of Georgia we face increased Russian propaganda. But I should say that despite all that, and with very efficient counter-propaganda managed by Ministry of European and Euro-Atlantic integration, we managed to maintain one of the highest supports for European aspirations and Euro-Atlantic aspirations. According to recent surveys, more than 80% of Georgia's population favors European aspirations and more than 75% Euro-Atlantic aspirations. This is much higher than in many countries of Eastern Europe who are members of NATO or even aspirant countries who are under the membership action plan with NATO. So there is no reason for any skepticism about Georgia's possible dependency on Russian energy supply. I will not go to some aspects of discussing Russian investments to Georgia's energy sector, which was mainly done during the previous administration before Georgian Dream came to power. So let's not discuss that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. More questions?